So I am on, switch is on, eco mode.
And we're off.
Oh, that is weird.
Isn't it weird?
It's so weird.
It's very weird. And it's quiet. Okay, so today I'm out test riding the Zero DSR, and behind me is Matt.
Hey.
SalvageSV, also testing the DSR.
Yep.
It feels weird, doesn't it?
Oh, it feels real weird.
What's really weird is when you come up to a stop sign and it's silent.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm having to get used to kind of the pedal position. This is very different from the SV. Oh, and I can hear everything. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
It's like I feel like I've stalled and I need to fix something.
Exactly. You feel like you've stalled and you're like, wait, whoa, it died. What?
Yeah. Oh, and I got to get used to where the throttle catches. It's got... mine is really twitchy on the low end of the throttle, and this one I've got to rotate a bit more before it starts to move. That's taking some getting used to.
Well, right now you're in economy mode, so switch it to sport, man. Like the other one I test rode, it was really, really a big difference. Okay,
so you're saying that the throttle response is going to get crisper as I switch the modes?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, well, I'm getting used to that throttle. That's better.
It takes a minute to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's nice.
Yeah.
Of course, if the bike has any kind of squeaks or anything, you hear it because there's no engine noise to cover it up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I didn't get any direction on when to switch modes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and next time we come up to a stop, or actually, you know what, he said I could roll off the throttle.
Yeah, roll off
for
the
a full
throttle
second.
And let it sit for a second, and then you can switch. It'll first go into custom.
Yeah.
And the first bike I rode had a really weird custom map on it, so hit it again and go to sport.
Yeah, I'm in sport now.
Yeah, I'm in sport now.
And the throttle is definitely crisper.
You've also got your turn signal on.
Thanks. Whoops.
Yeah, the throttle response in sport is much different.
Oh wow, yeah, that picks up a lot faster. Okay. Yeah, I was so focused on trying to ride a completely different bike, I missed the blinker. Awesome.
Yeah, on the last ride we rode with a guy, the whole time he had his turn signal on.
Well, it happens. Okay, we're turning again here. All right. So do we both have? We've both got the sort of knobbly tires. What kind of tires are these?
Yeah. They're kind of a dual sport tire, but they're not an aggressive dual sport tire. It's just I wouldn't take this really off road, but maybe down fire service roads or something.
And oh, that's the problem. So my brake line is in front of where my indicator is. That's why I didn't see it. Okay. I like sport so much better taking off.
Oh, sport is much better.
Oh, this thing will get up and go too. And I've got to say, the actual riding, the riding position here and the bars and everything is really comfortable. It's very different than what I'm used to. I'm definitely much more upright, and I feel like my shoulders and my hands are spread out farther, but it's very comfortable.
It feels like a lot of dual sport bikes. All the dual sport bikes that I've ridden feel a lot like this. It's a really comfortable riding position, and when you get into the twists and curves, I don't know, it's a lot different than a sport bike.
Yeah. Well, that'll definitely be interesting because, you know, I mean, what I've ridden the SV, so this is completely different for me. I don't have sort of that breadth of experience that you do on the multiple things like the dual sports.
And what I'll say, this bike, it feels like a dual sport as far as, and especially the FXS that this guy over here is riding. Mm-hmm. They feel like a dual sport with the riding position and the weight, but it's got the power of like a much sportier bike, a much larger engine bike.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, you know, with that instant torque from the electric motor, that makes a lot of sense.
But you also have, you know, such little weight, and the distribution of the weight is different, so it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, the batteries honestly look like they were mounted kind of high compared to like where you would see a lot of weight on a gas-powered bike, but I guess with the heads and everything up really high on a gas-powered bike, it probably evens out.
When you start to turn, when you get into some twisties, I don't know, it's really balanced. It's nicely balanced.
Yeah.
I'd say a majority of the weight probably is the batteries, but the way they have the batteries positioned, it's really well balanced.
Yeah. Well, one thing I like, I can definitely feel the front end sort of a lot better. I know what the front end's doing without all the vibration coming through the bars, so that's kind of a cool feature.
It's still really weird coming to a stop and having no engine noise.
Yeah, I'm adjusting okay. Like I feel comfortable on it, and I'm not having a ton of trouble. I haven't reached for a clutch or a gear shifter yet, but I did miss the blinker. So, all right. What about this? The gauge cluster here? What do you think about it? I mean, I've got some small text. I can't really.
It's kind of hard to see. Really, the only thing you need to see, I guess, is the battery level and the speed and your. I guess you don't need the range as much, but you know, if you know where to look, the range is right there in that top box.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is, you know, if you own this bike and you weren't just getting on it for the first time like I am, you'd probably be able to do. You'd know this stuff a little more. But yeah, just looking down here, I've got my battery level 53%. That's pretty easy to see. Speed's nice and big in front of you.
And it has a clock, which a lot of bikes don't have.
Okay, I did not see the clock. I'm gonna keep looking. Oh, there it is, yeah. 1531.
Yeah, top left corner.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I see the range, 57.5 miles. That's not bad at all. What did he say these things get, like 140 miles or something?
It's 140 miles, but that's only like your combined city and highway.
Uh-huh.
If you do highway on these things, you don't get anywhere near that.
Oh yeah, because you're not getting the regen from the street driving. Yeah.
And that's where it falls apart for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have one of these to commute on, but I don't think I can have it as my only bike.
Yeah, I can see that.
Don't feel bad about your turn signal, because look at this guy up here. I've been riding him all day.
It happens, man.
I still do it on my bike.
Yeah, I do too every once in a while. I'm trying to get better. Well, yeah, I'm still looking at the display here. It's telling me my mode is really easy to see, that I'm in sport mode. Now, I don't know what's below the modes, and I'm driving right now, so I'm not going to pay a ton of attention to it.
That's actually like your throttle.
Oh.
I guess
okay.
It's similar to the RPM gauge on a gas-powered bike. It's showing your throttle.
Uh-huh.
So when you roll on the throttle, look at it, and you'll see that it's...
you've
got a bar graph that goes up.
Got it. Oh, okay. So now looking at it, output and regen. So output is upward, regen is downward.
Right, and then you've also got your power and torque.
Yes. Okay.
One bar
cool.
For power, 1 bar for torque.
Got it. So as you roll on the throttle initially, that torque line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to let off real quick and slow down a touch. I'm going to roll on the throttle a little bit. Okay. They both climbed up pretty good. Okay. So it almost looks like it's following. Like a standard dyno graph where you've got torque initially and then horsepower up top as you roll on the throttle more. That's pretty cool. Now I don't know, just thinking about actual like functionality, I don't know if I would look at that when I was riding, especially doing the sport, sort of a sporty ride.
Not. It's I don't know. I guess it's there just so you can glance down and see, like, maybe if you're getting close to your limits. I don't know. I'm not sure what that would be used for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to see that. Well, like I'm engine braking right now, and I'm seeing that I'm getting regen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm rolling on the throttle.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of regen if I brake.
Not a lot.
Still not getting a lot. Yeah.
Imagine if you were going down a hill.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And you were getting like a lot of engine braking. I assume then you'd get more regen. I'm not really sure.
You'd think. Okay, I gotta say I'm really comfortable in corners on this thing.
It corners really well.
That's pretty cool.
Surprisingly well.
And it's really stable under braking.
The braking is nice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, comparing to mine that I kind of put together and who knows what all's wrong with it, this is very different being a new bike that's properly sorted.
I just go do figure eights around these little things. But this gives you a real good feel for how it handles
in
tight stuff,
It leans in really well. It's very confidence inspiring. It's and I think it has a little bit to do, at least for me, for that vibration not being there. Because, with all the vibration coming through the bars, you do lose a little bit of feeling. Now, the sort of that sport bike stance that I'm used to gives you a little more insight into what the front end is doing. But this one...
Be careful coming around that turn right there. There's some sand.
Sand, got it.
Just be careful for the sand.
Got it. Okay, I'll go to there's more sand over here, dear Lord.
If you cut this really tight, you can miss the sand.
Yeah, well, I'm I'm not that comfortable.
See, I just hit a rock or something. It kicked out my rear end, but it recovered well.
Okay. It is crazy not hearing anything. Like, I feel like I'm riding a bike or something. Pretty interesting.
I can actually hear wind whistling through my helmet.
I was just about to say that. It's like that breeze came through and it's like whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
I barely hear anything. I've got my intercom and everything cranked up max so I can hear it over that stupid exhaust.
But it handles really well, right?
It does, yeah. It's
I was really surprised.
And you know, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have a ton of experience on other riding positions. I'm used to that sort of leaned over sport bike position. And I don't know if it's just being upright or the bike itself, but it's much more comfortable, much more confidence inspiring in general.
The upright position is that way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Most people start on sport bikes just because it's cool and that's what everybody else has. But when you ride something more upright, you learn that it's more fun.
Yeah, of course.
You don't feel like you're going to fly over the handlebars.
Yeah.
And let's cut around here.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall over because of the weight, because, you know, mine is so heavy.
Like I said, these are extremely well balanced.
Yeah.
They feel like a much lighter bike than what they actually are. It feels like a little 250 dual sport or something.
Yeah, it definitely feels very light.
But it's got the power of like a 750 or at least a 600, which I haven't really been able to get the full power on these things. Watch out, there's a pothole up here.
Got it.
I'm going to pass by a few.
Yeah. Yeah, I just rolled on it. Like, yeah, slow down a little bit and just kind of roll on it for a sec. It's got a bit of power.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't suffer for power. It suffers for
wow, that is quick.
Oh, I just pinned the throttle. Wow.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to do that again and actually look at the speedo here.
Oh, my God. You pinned the throttle on this thing, and it
wow.
Oh, my God. Don't do that. Don't do that too much.
That is fun.
We've got a few more potholes coming up here.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
And then we've got to stop right around the corner.
Cool.
So don't be hauling ass. I just went for my my gear shifter again. Coming to a stop sign, I just have that urge to go for the shifter.
Yeah.
I'm not grabbing for the clutch. I'm just going for the shifter.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, man, whenever you grab some throttle, it throws you back, and it's really smooth too.
It's manageable.
Yeah.
But you realize that it pushes you.
And you've got a the throttle feel is very direct. It's like when you roll on the throttle, you feel like you've got very, very sort of fine control over exactly how much power is being delivered.
Yeah.
And I like that.
There's no delay.
Yeah. Are we turning, or is he's just got his blinker on still?
He's just got his blinker on, but we will be turning right up here.
Okay. It's pretty compliant over those little bumps, too.
Yeah, these bumps are really bad on a sport bike, and they're going to get worse.
Yeah,
but these bikes seem to kind of absorb them quite a bit.
Yeah, the dampers on here seem pretty nice, so I'm appreciating that. Yeah, it deals with those bumps really well. Yeah, this is an awesome road here.
Yeah, isn't it?
So what else do we need to cover on here? Like we've talked about the power, the handling.
The only thing that I don't like about these bikes is the price and the range. The price is a little too high, the range is a little too low.
Yeah.
Charging time is about 8 hours unless you have the turbo charger or I forgot what they called it, but it's basically like a speed charger.
Yeah.
Still, that takes 3 hours to get you to like 80%. And I could use one of these to commute back and forth to work on, but I don't think it could be my primary bike. And I sure as hell wouldn't take it on any kind of trip or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's just sort of the general downside with electric vehicles at this point in time. I mean, the tech is getting a lot better, but we're still missing that. I mean, we need a 300-mile range vehicle.
300-mile range, and we need a bike that doesn't cost as much as a Ducati. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
There are cheaper versions of this bike that are a little bit more reasonable, but I want the big boy, and for $16,000,
there's a lot you could get.
Which is what their big boy costs. I could get a sport bike and a V-Strom and have a trip bike and a sport bike, you know?
Yeah, it's I don't know. You know, part of it is an infrastructure issue. If there were, you know, as electric vehicles become more prominent, you're gonna get more charging stations. You're gonna get more accessibility for that type of stuff. So you're gonna be able to, you know, stop in any major city, find an electric charging station, and charge the thing in you know 2 hours probably, while you're having some lunch.
Just doing this test ride has piqued my interest.
Of course,
so
yeah.
I'm eager to see what happens. So now it's just, we wait. You have to wait. As more and more electric vehicles are adopted and there's more charging stations, and the companies making them are gaining capital to put back into research and development, maybe we'll get faster charging times, higher capacity batteries, that type of thing, and then it'll get to a point, well, also, as they have more sales, prices should come down.
Yeah.
Because now it's a luxury, it's a novelty.
Yeah.
Now it becomes more prominent, you know, all of those things I'm complaining about now will kind of go away.
Yeah, and if you just wanted to sort of, you know, do a positive impact on your carbon footprint, you just wanted to commute on an electric vehicle, I think this would be great. I mean, I would love to drive to and from work on one of these.
Oh yeah, it'd be great for commuting. I would definitely commute on one of these.
Absolutely.
And we lost you guys.
No, I'm good.
So yeah, like I was saying, it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite where I want it to be yet. If I had some extra money to throw around, I'd probably get one to commute on, but as the prices get better, the range gets better, the availability of charging stations gets better.
Well, and the other thing, you know, about the battery life, you know, this thing, you know, goes 50,000 miles before it loses, you know, 20% of the battery life or something. Yeah. And the used market on these might be something that's appealing. You know, if you know, a couple of years from now, if they drop $4,000 or $5,000 and you can pick one up that's still, you know, 96% on the batteries, I think that might be a good deal.
Yeah,
something to consider.
All I want to do is commute, and again, I think it'd be great for commuting. I wouldn't mind commuting on them now if the price was a little lower, but
absolutely.
But yeah, I like to do long rides. I like to ride halfway across the state and meet up with other people, and you know, that's not something I could do on this bike.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was, I have to say, that was fun.
It was fun.
That was quite fun. So I just got done with a demo ride of a Zero DSR electric motorcycle. And I gotta say, they're pretty cool. I really enjoyed the riding position. The torque that they put out is amazing. And I think it would be a great commuter bike. But I'm a little worried about the price point at this point. I talk a little bit about it in the vlog. You know, the price is a little up there for something that doesn't really have a ton of range and takes a long time to charge. So you're looking at, you know, like an 8-hour charge time to get the thing from basically worn out to all the way charged. So an overnight stay somewhere, and it's only got about 140, 160 mile range. And that really limits what you can do with the bike. If you're just commuting back and forth to work, that's great. And if you really want to commute back and forth to work on an electric bike and you want to sort of, you know, be clean and save money on fuel and stuff, I think it's a great option. But it's a really high price of entry. And you do save money on maintenance, you save money on fuel and stuff going on, and it ends up working out after about 5 years to be less than something like a Ducati Monster. But at the same time, it takes 5 years for that break-even point to happen, and you're saving like $2,000 over 5 years. That's not a ton. There are several options for a really awesome commuter bike below that price point, and I think that's what we struggle with right now with electric vehicles. I love the idea of an electric bike. I think it's the way that things are going, and I think the technology is getting better and better every year, and I think it's going to be prominent soon. But I think right now, the technology isn't exactly where we need it to get, you know, 300 miles on a bike and to charge it in 2 hours. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to want. We either need the technology to catch up so we can charge faster and ride longer, or we need the infrastructure in place so that while we're riding somewhere, it's easy to find somewhere to stop and charge while you're having lunch or something like that. And it shouldn't be a struggle to keep the thing charged. If you want to drive the thing across country, I think that should be an option because it's a really comfortable bike. I think it would be awesome to drive it across country, but it would take you forever because every 150 miles you'd have to stop for 8 hours and charge it basically. And there are some options that'll let you charge it faster. You can get an upgrade that'll let you plug into like a standard electric car charging station with the I can't remember the name of the specific plug, but sort of that universal standard for electric cars, and that'll charge in about 4 hours, I believe. But still, that's 4 hours you got to sit and wait just to go another 150 miles. Basically, you can do that once. You get back on, drive another 150 miles, and then your day's done. So we've got some catching up to do, but the bike itself I thought was really awesome. I enjoyed riding it, and you know, big thanks to Zero and to Big Number One for letting us come out and ride them. I can't wait to see what happens in the next few years with them, because I think they're awesome. I'd love to have one. I might keep an eye out on the used market, because the batteries in the things last, you know, 60, 70,000 miles based on the data that they provided there. I think they said after 50,000 miles on that bike, you're going to lose about 20% of your charging capacity. And I think that's impressive, because even if you've only got 80% of your battery, you're still going to be going, you know, over 100 miles. And if you're just commuting on the thing and you can get it on the used market at a decent price point, I think that would be worth it. So I'm going to keep an eye on that kind of stuff. I hope you enjoy the ride and the vlog that I did with it. I met up with a local moto vlogger, Kryten, and we rode them together and sort of shared our experiences and talked about it back and forth. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate him inviting me along. And enjoy it. You know, leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about electric bikes? Are you interested in one? Do you think they're economical? Do you think that the price, you know, is on point? You know, anything you want to talk about, put it down in the comments and have a discussion about it. I'll talk to you guys later.